Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for being here. I am making this update about the case that I came and spoke to you guys about a couple of days ago about the Massachusetts nurse. Her name is Lindsay Clancy, who has been accused of strangling the three of her children. And the update, the sad news is that they just confirmed that the baby boy was also died to the injuries that he sustained this week because of his mom, right? And one thing I gotta say, if you guys listen to the previous video or watch the previous video on YouTube, I forgot to mention that Lindsay tried to take her own life, right? And this is very this case is very tragic, and I'm giving you a warning because you know this is a delicate subject, right? So we have to be careful how we speak about it. So if you're listening to this and you perhaps you're going through a hard time, please don't watch something else, listen to something else, because I don't want by any means anybody to get worse than what they are, right? And this is what I do, just to bring awareness and to perhaps give a little hope to anybody out there listening to this. But I cannot get to that part without telling you the case and what the case is about, right? So this 32-year-old mother of three, Lindsay Clancy, a nurse out of Duxbury, Massachusetts, has been formally accused. She's right now in the hospital, okay? She tried to take her own life, and she's in the hospital because she killed three of her children this week, right? Let me just tell you something, guys. Like I said before, and I'm gonna keep repeating myself, any negative thoughts that come to your mind about hurting yourself or hurting anybody else, whether physically or mentally, is not from God, okay? There's nothing that is negative in God, right? There's nothing that's gonna make you do the opposite in God, right? So when you are listening to things that, and perhaps people say they hear voices, rest assured that that's the enemy working. We have an enemy, okay? His name is Satan. He's trying to destroy your life, okay? So if you're have a family, right? And before getting too deep into this subject, because I know a lot of people are dealing with it, let me just tell you, God loves you so much, and He wants the best for you, and He loves you so much, He wants a relationship with you. And if you're watching this video, listening to the podcast, I want to say to you, if you need prayer, please reach out, okay? My email is posted, on the website, JulissaDesigns.com, or my email, I can just tell you, it's julissa@JulissaDesigns.com. You can just go and send me a message if you need a specific prayer. We have to pray for this family. We have to pray for mom and dad involved, okay? Because the state of mind, when you get to the state of mind that you feel like there's no hope anymore, that does not come from God, okay? Like, it's just so sad to see that people see other people doing evil things like this, right, to their own children. And a lot of people will never understand that. You have to understand one thing, though: that's just the works of the enemy, okay? This same mom that gave birth to these kids, right, she wants the best for them, but the enemy comes, right? You open a door for the enemy, whatever it might be, and the enemy comes. That's what I was saying on my previous video about her before, because we also have to be careful how we talk to people, okay? If we can just live this life thinking that everybody's just trying to do the best that we can bring some type of hope to people out there who are hurting. Because I told you guys before many times in previous videos that we live in the social media age, right? Everybody, like, people, like, some of my family members reach out to me after I post something on social media, because it's easier to say, oh yeah, she's doing good. Look, she was in New York City like the other day. I'm not even gonna call her. we have to go beyond that, right? We have to reach out to people, because there's something called scheduling posts. This is what I use also. Okay, I schedule posts on social media, and then the thing is, like, you're also, like, for me in my case, I'm trying to promote my brand, trying to promote the channel, whatever it is that I'm working on. So just because I posted something doesn't mean, like, my day is dandy and everything was perfect. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, thanks be to God, I'm not dealing with anything like that. But I'm saying, like, when you have a young mom of 3, right, and she's also a nurse, which is a very, it's a very hard job, okay, especially during these times with pandemic and all the stuff that have gone through with the nurse shortage, you know, being a mom, recently giving birth to another child. Don't think because she's posting a photo, you know, I don't know her Instagram or her Facebook page, but don't think because she's posting a photo of happy kids, you know, or the kids playing, that everything is good and dandy. Like, be available for people, be available to go back to the old ways and reach out to people and say, hey, what's going on? Don't go by just everything that you see on social media, because, you know, nobody's gonna post. It's gonna take a lot. You know, I have taken social media class, you know, things that you watch on YouTube just to learn about content creating, things like that. People always say, you know, you have to represent your brand and things like that, right? So nobody's really, you know, I'm not saying that she had a brand. All I'm saying is, like, nobody's going to post that they had a bad day, right? It's going to be very rare people who do that. And nobody's gonna post that, you know, oh, I can't take it anymore, I need some type of help, type, you know. But things are, like, so obvious sometimes. But because of social media, as the same way that it connects us, is also pushing us away, because we go by what people post. And the reason that I'm saying that is that a lot of the times it's not the reality of what their life really is. Okay, and you think about Anna Walsh's case, right? She was having such from what it seemed, right, that she was having such a great time, but yet we never knew that perhaps she was coming home, right? Because she worked in DC. And in case you guys didn't know, Anna Walsh is the mom from Cohasset, Massachusetts, right, who disappeared beginning of the year, and then right now her husband is being charged with murder. You never think by looking at her social media that there was an issue at home, right? But I just saw an interview about one of the locals, right, where the restaurant that she used to go to, and she said, oh, she always seems so quiet. She always seems so quiet. Why did, you know, when you're working in customer service, which I work retail for many years, for you to remember somebody who always stayed quiet and the husband was the one who did all the talking, it's gonna take a very quiet person to be that noticeable, right? So when it comes to abuse like that, there's always that person who wants to make it seem like he's the nicest to everybody, that she's the super nice, always saying the right things to say. But always look at the other person, you know. You learn so much by just looking at the other person that are with them, right, how they react. And who would have thought, right, looking at Anna Walsh's social media, you never thought that there was an issue at home. There was clearly something going on, so much so that she actually bought a townhouse in DC. She was planning her move. Slowly, and probably at the end of the year, that was when she broke the news to him and said, I'm taking my kids, you know. You know, and he was not going to, she actually said to her mom, one of the messages she said to her mom, in case you guys didn't know, was, Brian and I cannot agree on the kids. Can you come tomorrow? That's what she was begging her mom to come the next day, right? So, yeah, don't follow what you just see on social media. Like I said, you know, I post stuff a lot on my Instagram account, and people are like, oh, I thought you want this and that. I'm like, I scheduled a post like 2 days ago, right? It could be so many things that you just want to kind of like maintain the social media to get it out of your way, right? And a lot of the times for me, it could be a safety tool, right? You don't want people to know exactly where you are at that very moment, right? So if I'm at a place buying fabric on Saturday, I'll probably post it on Sunday, not to be, you know, to make it light, nothing like that, but it's safety concern. You never know, like, right? You just never know. So, and the other thing, guys, about this case, not only do we have to pray for her because she's not this dedicated mom, right? Because these kids look very well taken care of. She's not gonna feel like when she, I'm trying to be careful how I say it, but Lindsay, she was, you know, what she did, I'm sure it's not, you know, she needs help, right? Mentally, she was going through a depression, they say, the postpartum depression. And one thing I have to say though, right? Go beyond the hey, how are you type of question, right? You have to ask for more, okay? Because you have to give people time to answer to also. That's the thing. We're so quick to just like, you know, put it like, oh yeah, they're doing good. Look, she posted a photo, the kids are fine, everything's perfect. Go beyond that. If you really care about somebody, go beyond it. Just, hey, how's everything, right? So let me just read a little bit more about this case. The sad news, right, is that the third child, the baby, the 8-month baby, also passed away. I'm looking at 4 of them right here, which are, you know, for privacy. I'm not going to post it. You know, if you're interested in seeing it, you can search it all over the news, but I decided not to post it here. So the 8-month-old baby has died, and the man has been charged in the death of her older brother and sister. It says here that Friday at approximately 12:30, the state office chief medical examiner, contacted Massachusetts police to report that at 11:18 Friday, the third Clancy child was pronounced deceased at Children's Hospital in Boston. Okay. The mother, Lindsay Clancy, is accused of strangling his 2 siblings, Cara, 5, and Dawson, 3. And Callan on Tuesday has said the incident was murder-suicide attempt. Like I said before, my previous post, the dad came and he was going to go buy dinner for everybody. And she saw that opportunity. I think, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, Anna Walsh and everything. Like there's a solution, everybody. If you're watching this or listening, there's a solution for everything in life, right? Things can be resolved. If you need help, ask for help and be willing to take help, because that's the other thing, right? And you know, I'm not saying her, of course, but I'm saying a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I want your help, but then when you help them, everything that you're trying to help them with, they're so not ready to let go, right? They want to be overseeing everything, right? And they're not willing to, yeah, I need help, but I'm gonna control every help that you give me, right? That's not good enough. That, you know, you did it wrong. That's not how I do it, this and the other. But you know, you can speak about things, right? Like what happened with Anna and Brian Walsh. He could have just have a conversation, right? He could have just get more people involved, right? The locals also said, you know, that they didn't seem to make a lot of friends in the community. Well, she really didn't live there, if you think about it, because she had a whole townhouse in DC and she had all these friends over there and co-workers, right? So that's the other thing. And then you have to like be compassionate with people, right? Let me just tell you something about mental health, right? And I'm no expert by any means, and I'm not a psychiatrist, a therapist, nothing like that. All I'm saying is, from my own experience, a lot of the times people can be so fresh, I guess you can say, so uncaring, that people act as though nobody owns a mirror. Okay, I have said this before in my previous video, because You just never know the state of mind that people are in, okay? And people always want to look at you, oh, you get offended because I say that, you have issues. No, the issue is you, that you're so willing to say something rude to somebody that you perhaps don't even know that you just met. But the thing is, like, when somebody says something offensive to you and then they make you feel like you are the problem for getting offended, that's a problem, and it's not within you as the receiver, it's the other person. But because they still want to push you down, you say to somebody, hey, I didn't like how you talked to me today, and they want to say, well, you're too weak, you need to be stronger than that. No, you need to learn how to speak to people, okay? Because, like, there are days when you're like, oh man, I had such a bad day at work, I just want peace and quiet, and then somebody just comes up and says something negative to you. Like, you don't even know how people are dealing with, right? You don't even know how many things somebody's taking throughout the day. And what I said before is this, right? Everybody owns a mirror. Okay, we drive cars that have mirrors. Our phones can be used as a camera to to check ourselves. Everywhere there is a mirror. You don't need, stop trying to be the discover person. There's nothing that you can say to anybody about their physical appearance, especially an adult, that they have not discovered for themselves. Okay, stop it with the rude comments. Okay, just because you say, oh, you're so skinny, doesn't mean that that person is not struggling with food issues, right? And we as a society think, oh, telling somebody, oh, they're so skinny is a good thing, right? No, okay? Stay away from pointing things that are obvious to somebody already. Okay, people will be like, oh my gosh, you're so tall. All these years I lived without knowing that I was taller than the average person. Oh my goodness, man, where have you been all my life? We need to learn how to communicate more, right? Because if you were bullied as a child because you were too skinny or too tall, and you're already an adult, right? You're an adult. You don't need anybody, especially a stranger, coming out to you trying to say that. Like, dude, you can be opening wounds, okay? And the thing with that is that when you get offended, you call it out, right? Because you want to be strong, because you're already an adult. People can be like, oh my goodness, calm down. Like, I mean, well, learn how to speak to other people, okay? The same thing, like, it could be so many things, oh my goodness, she gained so much weight. There's nothing that you can say. I'm going to say this again. There's nothing that you can say to an adult person at this moment that they have not discovered themselves about, especially about their physical appearance. Your lips are so big. Oh my goodness, man. If you don't tell me that, I would never notice. You are so smart, right? And the thing is, like, that happens. It happens a lot, right? And it develops. It develops insecurity. It develops sadness on people. So yeah, I don't like when people say, well, you're not ready. Like, you need to stop being so soft, stop taking. No, learn how to be compassionate with people. Okay, everybody owns the mirror. You're not gonna call anything out. And like I said before, right? I don't know what it is with Lindsay. I haven't learned about her that much. This is all we know about her, right? What she did. I'm sure, I know that nurses are so compassionate, right? But it could be any little thing, right? There's a lot of pressures that is being put on moms. Okay, I'm not a mom, right? Um, but I know that when you are a mom of 3 young kids, there's a lot of pressure to live up to the standards of the public, I guess you can say, because nothing is gonna be good enough, right? There are people who will call it out to you, like people call it out to me, when you're gonna get married, right? And then you get married, and then when you guys gonna have kids? Everybody knows. Like, stop trying to dictate somebody's life just because you got married when you were 19, right? And you know how everything, like, everybody knows, okay? Also, the other thing is that not everybody has the same goal, right? Like, don't try to call it out. I remember, this is so crazy, I'm talking about this. One day I went to a wedding, right? And this woman that she was one of the family members of the bride or something. I was just at the wedding. She kept talking to me, grabbing me by the arm and saying, "You're nuts. You're nuts." I'm like, why she's making this a big deal? Like, when have I spoken to you? Like, do you even know what I do for a living? Like, what makes you think? Like, do I look like I'm desperate? I'm not even talking to anybody. I'm just here at the wedding participating with everybody else. Like, would you, like, it's so hard to explain it. People, they stop giving people unsolicited advice. Not everybody's after the same goal. Okay, just because all people in your family were married before they hit 30 years old doesn't mean that the person living next to you is after the same thing, right? Learn to have relationship with people again. How do you have relationship with people? You get to know who they are, what their goals are, what they like to do in their free time. Okay, stop putting people down because they're not living to this idea of what life should be according to your plans. And here I am again speaking about this, right? Because you try to understand what's leading a mom of 3 commit something like this, right? What's leading her to that? And yeah, it could be so many things. And I know postpartum depression is a real thing that affects a lot of moms out there. All I'm saying is this, guys, right? Learn how to have conversation with people before you give them advice, okay? If you're gonna remember something, always remember everybody owns a mirror. Stop trying to be the discovered person on people's life and how they look and what they do and things like that. Learn how to talk to people, okay? And have compassion, right? If you can just believe, right, like I said before, that everybody's just trying to do the best they can with who they are and what they have, you can have more understanding for people, okay? Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video or listening to the podcast. Have a good night, everybody. Please keep this family in your prayers. God bless. For coming back to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and share this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.